because today another harmony lesson with well, a very interesting topic that we have been having so far, which is modulation. You know that. And today we are definitely going to play the piano, because we're going to see different types of modulation. Yeah, so be ready, fingers ready, piano ready. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me show the screen. So last time, before the internet collapsed, just saying, I don't know if you remember. Not the internet, actually, it was my laptop that died. We were saying that the two principal means in our first modulations. The first one is use of such neutral chords as will mediate between the original key and the new key. That's one. That's what we're going to see today. Neutral chords, remember that they were the ones that they can be used, or they exist. Yeah, they're common chords in both of the keys. Yes, the key that you're in and your goal. Yeah, and then reinterpretation of chords common to both keys. Both means usually work simultaneously. Remember we said those common chords in retrospective, they're going to be reinterpreted, yes, as in the function of the new key. Yeah. So, for example, all those chords that have the leading tone of the new key, that's frequently 3 and 7, as well as 5. Yeah, those are the ones that, for example, yeah, that we are the ones that we're going to be preferred in just before, yes, we modulate. Yes, the ones that contains the leading tone of the new key. Now, one thing is important before we start playing. The length of the cadence will naturally depend on the length and difficulty of the modulation. If the modulation was simple, then a short cadence is enough. If the modulation required richer means, then the cadence cannot easily be short. Sometimes, however, it can happen that a long modulation was so convincing because of its thoroughness that a short cadence is enough. Conversely, sometimes a modulation is so abrupt as to demand greater reinforcement of the new key by means of a longer cadence. So let's say that you're dwelling, yes, into the neutral chords, then a short cadence is enough. Then if you just put the dominant of the new key, yeah, that will be super abrupt. Yeah, so we're going to manage that. Yeah, okay, now we're going to start. We're going to basically the purpose of this is how to modulate inside the first circle. Yes, which was the first circle that Schonberg said that we saw last time. Where you have the first circle, the second circle, third circle, fourth circle, which was the first circle. If we are, of course, we are always starting in C major. Okay, so which are the keys, yes, that are comprised within the first circle? I ask. Yes, Gary. Yiri, sorry.
So the first circle, is it F, C, and G?
Yes.
Okay. So F, C, and G.
Yes, and?
D.
Yes.
And?
Okay. More.
Yes.
I thought the first circle was something. Okay. Now then it's B flat and
wait,
no.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
No. Then no. Then I thought I had an idea, please.
Okay, you had an idea, but you know, all good for the major keys.
I thought the first circle was from from F to G. So
Yeah, no, it is. And
And
it's
the relative.
exactly. You're just missing the relative minors.
no, of course, of course. Okay, so D minors, A minor, E minor.
There you go. Very good. So, there you go. And all the possibilities. Yes. Because usually we say, okay, we modulate from C major to G major. Good, fine. C major to A minor, C major to F major. Okay, good, fine. But C major to E minor, C major to D minor. We cannot A minor to G major. Yeah, so we have to see all the possibilities. Yeah, usually we tend to think about modulation in those terms: C to G, C to F, C to A. That's it. But actually, we should consider all the possibilities. Yeah, but we're going to start with this step, most straightforward, which is C major to G major. Yeah, most common, to the dominant. Yeah, this applies to sonata forms. Yes, when you have the tonic and the theme A is in tonic C major and the theme B is in the dominant. So before we play, I'm going to see who's brave enough to play. Let's analyze this. First of all, let's analyze how it's written. Yeah, we're going to mention that a little bit, but let's see how to interpret this. The first line, yes, is a home key. Yes, we have C tonic, yeah, first degree, and below you have the the reinterpretation. 1 equals 4, yeah, fourth or subdominant of the new key, and then it goes on. Yes, so usually when you have that, you have in the upper line, imaginary line, a home key, then the reinterpretation of chord or chords, yes, of the neutral chords. In this case, 1 equals 4, and then you carry on with the new key. Yeah. Go. In this case, for example, we have one thing that we should observe is that it's not just one chord. I mean, he goes from 4, 5, 1, and he carries on. He insists to 1, 6, 4, 5, 1. Yeah. In this case, you have 4 equals 1, 1 equals 4, sorry. Then a fifth, that is in the 13th version, so it's quite mild, let's say. Yeah. Towards a 1 in 6, again. Then it goes to the E minor, which we could consider another neutral chord. Yeah. That's why they say that the cadence can last quite a few chords. It's not just one moment. Yeah. Then, reinterpret it. Yeah. So 3 equals 6. Going again to the 1 equals 4. Yes. And then the full, yes, dominant, full seventh in root position, and then the resolution. Yeah. Now this one, who would care to explain what is going on in these two cases? If you have to explain stuff. Because it's very interesting. Take a look first. Yes.
I'm not sure why he mentions the sixth of the G, as if it is some sort of revelation. I don't know. Otherwise, this is particularly important.
Well, because it does. That's why I mean the modulatory process. Yes, what he's trying to say is that it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't take just one chord. You're starting to dwell around. Yes, you're introducing the new tonic on a slower pace. You do a deceptive cadence to a pivot chord.
Actually, I'm not sure why he calls it a second when he has the F sharp.
Well, no, second with a seventh, it means something that's a little, not mistake, but it's a secondary dominant we haven't seen. Yes. The secondary dominant is the dominant on a degree that is not, I mean, it's basically the next chapter.
Is Schonberg who does the line when that happens?
The line, yeah, no, he does put a line, like a not underline, like a crossing. Yes. When that chord it's like a generic symbol to say, okay, that chord is chromatic. I mean, it's not diatonic, because then he will use it in, for example, substitutions, chords taken from the church modes, let's say even Napolitan, or, well, minor 6 taken from kind of a modal interchange, yes, to the Aeolian, well, many things. So basically, is that when you see that, yeah, not hyphen, that line, is okay. That chord is not diatonic, yes, not diatonic.
But here I'm confused a bit. Anyway, it's 2.
I know. Yeah, he's saying, okay, on the second degree you have a seventh, you have a dominant seventh, which, well, some of us know that is a secondary dominant. Some others don't, but we will see it in the next chapter. So, patience. So, while you're at it, Georgios, explain. Come on.
Explain the chords that I see.
Yeah.
I see the tonic or the fourth, the tonic of C or the fourth of the G. I see that secondary dominant we mentioned. I see the third of C or sixth of G, third. I see then again, no, what is it? La. I see an A with sixth to the seventh.
Yes.
Which is the...
And that seven is prepared.
It is.
And resolved.
It is. Then again and then resolved, yes.
Resolved.
It is the sixth in first inversion or the second first inversion is C and G. Then it is the then it is the seventh. Wait a minute. Not so. It's a tonic. It's tonic in second inversion. 1 6 4 5 1 cadence.
There you go.
Yeah.
So at the finite cadence, he as always uses the predominant. Yes. Well, dominant as an appoggiatura of the dominant. Yeah. And I mean 1 6 4 cadential, as we know it, and 1. Yeah. So that's why he says it's a process. Yes. That's why he says that the use of pivot chords, yes, or neutral, such as these ones, and then there are other ones, neutral, that they will be reinterpreted, yes, once you reach to this point. Yeah. There you go. Very good, Georgios. It is. Would you care? Would you mind to explain what is going on in example D?
Yes. So, I mean, to say the chords that we're playing here. So we're playing the tonic, 1. Then second with the F sharp, which will make start the modulation. Then the I mean, it's a 1, but yeah. Okay. And then we have a 6th in first inversion, and then a 2 with 7th, and then these 2 would be the 5 of G, and then G.
And how will we reinterpret the, first of all, which are the neutral chords?
So it's the 6th.
Take
A.
this one, yes. This one.
And the first, in first.
The first.
Yeah. And that it.
Are you sure?
I mean, we have the first and first in first inversion.
Ah, so the tonic degree 1 equals 4.
Yes.
Then he introduces the yes, as a, I mean the 5th of the new key as a secondary dominant, as we're going to see, but don't worry. Yes. Then resolves. I mean, which type of cadence is it? I mean, he introduces kind of, in a way, in this case, in example C and example D, yes, in D7th going to the E minor and D7th going to the C major in first inversion. Which type of if we have to name it? Curious.
Deceptive.
Yes. In both cases, deceptive cadence. And it's one of the things that it's extremely common, yes, in modulations. Yes, you don't go just straight towards the dominant and then that's it. Sometimes you do it around pivot chord or neutral chords, or sometimes you delay, yes, through a deceptive cadence, yeah, the actual cadence, which is going to be a modulation. Yes, very good. Yes, very good. It is. And finally, in all the cases, yes, we have the chord, yeah, the, let's say, true dominant, go into the new tonic, and then reinterpret it, yes, 4, 5, 4 in 6, 2 in 6, dominant 7th, 1. Yes, that's what we said last time, is sometimes in the pieces, this is kind of quite easy to see, yeah, but sometimes when you're analyzing harmonically, you start saying functions, yes, if you interpret just being in C major, say, okay, 1, secondary dominant, going to the 1 in 6, it's like, why? And then second in first inversion, and then secondary dominant, but that secondary dominant goes to the 5th, and they say, okay, when you get to this point, you say, now I get why he got this secondary dominant to the first in 6 is why she or she, who, he, it, do that, yeah? Okay, who is the first brave performer who's going to perform these first 2 lovely examples?
Okay.
Okay, come on.
Okay.
Examples A and B.
So
Do you need them a little bit
it's fine, it's fine.
big? Ooh, sorry, this is really big.
Yes. No.
Quite clear at the end, right? Very good. Example B. And then we have this F sharp not going, yes, to the G. But why? Who can tell me why this is can be seen as correct?
We already have two Gs in the soprano and the bass. And there would be, if we didn't, no, that's it. And we need a fifth. There is no other voice. We don't need it, but we wanted it. There's no other voice that would take the fifth. If the tenor, if the alto took the fifth, we would have parallel fifths, which we wouldn't like. Anyway, that's the only way to have the fifth.
Exactly. Very good. And because it's an inner voice, you know.
Yeah.
No, we'll miss it. Very good, Georgios. Now, who is the second? Brave. I think we have a change there. Hello.
Okay, so C and D, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay. And D.
Yes. Oh, amazing. Very, very good. Now, examples E and F. Let's take a look. Laura. She
Yes.
is impressed. She has a problem with the camera today.
I'm here.
Yeah, she already told us. Yeah, but told me, sorry. But she's in spirit and she has a piano, and she can talk and she can play. That it's enough. Yeah. Okay, Laura, tell me any similarities or differences between the examples that we have already seen and this one?
Well, they all start in C, so that's a similarity, and they all move towards G because of the F sharps.
Yes. Describe the chords. Let's see.
So the first chords are 1, and then the next chords are 5, and we have like I want to say like a. Is it like a suspension or a preparation beforehand?
I would say suspension. No, not suspension. It's just the root of the dominant, the dominant of the new key, of course, is on the soprano. Just kept. No. Suspension would have been having I mean, no. I mean the seventh is prepared correctly, by the way, and descends to the B. No suspension.
Okay, well, the second chords are 5, and then we go on to a 3, and then we have...
Yeah, but when you say 5, careful when you say 5, because you said, I understand what you're saying, but 5, 5. So let's say, when you say 1 equals 4, 5 of the new key, 5 equals 1.
Okay, yeah. So
right?
then that's... Yeah. And then we have 5 in the new key.
So this is, wait. Just 1 second. Wait. So you have 1 equals, and when I say 1 equals 4, I always say first the home key and then the key that we are going, right?
Yeah.
So 1 equals 4, dominant of the new key. Yeah, 5. 5 equals 1, G major.
And then 1 equals 4.
Yes.
And then 6 equals 2.
With a lovely 7th that is prepared from the other chord that descends perfectly well, just saying.
And then we have 2 equals 5. And then 5 equals 1.
Yes. Now, the reinterpretation of the chords, yes, it's fine, very good. Yeah. Usually happens, yeah. I mean, it serves the purpose of clarifying, let's say, why the composer would have put, let's say, this, yes, let's say a secondary dominant or a, well, initial dominant, yeah, to a new key, but in a very weak, yeah, mild presentation. Because if you compare the first presentation of the dominant of the new key, which is G, which is inversion 6/5, and the last presentation, let's say, yes, this one is kind of the real one, the one that has more weight, the one that truly announces the new key. Why is that? If we have to compare why this chord is more important or is presented as a stronger statement than this one.
Because it's the dominant.
They're both dominants.
Oh.
And they both resolve, by the way, in root position of the new tonic. But there's something, yes, that's why the presentation, that's why what we are seeing is how you present the cadence, how you modulate. Yes, what is going to be the process, the modulatory process, until you finally get to your new key. Either if you're a composer, not that it interests you, I know, but when you're analyzing the pieces, yes, you have to know exactly where is definitely, yes, where does the modulatory process begins and where actually ends, yes. So the strength of the dominant is something that we should consider, yes. How is this dominant, or why is this dominant weaker than this one, or why is this dominant stronger than this one?
Is it because of the root notes?
That's exactly reason number 1. Always, yes. Whenever you have this descending fifth, yes, and you have both of the chords in root position, even from Bach's time, whenever he wanted a cadence, yes, it's very usually, it's just actually a rule of thumb. He would always do that. Even with octaves, da, bam, bam, in the inventions, in the fugues, yes, pieces in general. Yes, that's one reason, and the main reason, very good. Another reason.
I wasn't really sure of the other reason.
What's the other reason, Georgios? Can you think, or it is the same?
Because we have used the neutral chords for a while, I find. So we haven't heard the Fa in so long, the Fa natural. That was before we might have heard. And since we have used all the chords of the G major, we have used the subdominant, we have used the sixth, the second, for the second, I think then the dominant is more clear as to where we are.
Yes, and also because that's yes, exactly, very good. The way that this leading tone is presented is in the soprano, so PAC, right? Perfect authentic cadence, and also is prepared 2 chords. Yes, he takes, okay, G, preparation for the 7th of the second inverse inversion, yes? And when it, that calls your attention. The seventh calls your attention, right? Because it's a dissonance. And then when it resolves in the that leading tone and the soprano, and then resolution to the, yes, to a tonic. That's why the way you present, yeah, the way you achieve that modulation process is important. Yes, very good, Glorious. Do you see, Laura, why?
Yeah.
Perfect. Even we can even add the fact that he takes two chords on the D and then a jump on the, yes, a leap towards the G. That will be the one that prepares the seventh, and then it will then resolve, and then that same note, it will be the note of resolution. So it's a whole journey of that G, let's say, that tonic. Yes, there's a journey of the tonic that is used in a very specific way. Yes, it was planned ahead, and in compositions, either if you're composing, you can use this, or if you're analyzing, it's like the journey of the note. Yes, so if a composer does that, it's telling you as a performer, this is important. Look at it. Yes, give importance. I gave importance. You should also. It's like a secret code between composer and performer. Yes, if you don't pay attention to those things, then the intention of the composer would have been lost. Yeah, and I'm not saying that. And also in a composition, when you're analyzing pieces, it's much harder to see, because as we see in counterpoint, everything's ornamented and presented. So this won't be like that. It will be even more difficult to see, because you will have melodies and ornamentations in between. Yeah, but those are the intentions that we should see when we're analyzing pieces. Yeah. And the example F, what's the deal with example F? Laura.
What are the chords?
The chords, let's see everything from the chords of the, we start with the chords, yes? And this is, again, something that you should consider when you're analyzing harmonically. The first stage is the chord, then the second stage is the function, the third stage is how to interpret them.
So we have chord 1, and then we have chord 2, and then chord 5, and then chord 1 again, and then chord 6, and then chord 5, and then chord 1, not 1, sorry, 2, and then chord 5.
Okay, that's all in C major, all in C major.
Yeah.
Now, interpretation from the G major point of view.
4, 5.
5 in 4, 4, 3, so second inversion.
Yeah, and then 1, and then 4 in first inversion, and then 4, no, and then 7, but we have A, C, and E. Oh, 2. Yeah.
2 with what? What happened here in the tenor?
2 with a 7th.
Yes.
In first inversion. And then we have 1 in second inversion. And then we have 5 in second inversion, and then we have 1.
5 in second inversion.
D, F sharp, A. Oh, in fact, in root position. and then 1.
Good. So if we analyze this from the C major point of view, to say, okay, tonic, secondary dominant, sorry, towards the fifth, okay. Well, tonic in first inversion, okay, why not? 6, the seventh in first inversion, okay, fine. And then you start. Well, fifth in the second inversion. Let's go into this, a secondary dominant. Every time you have this type of arrangement of having a chord in second inversion, yes, with its root, with the bass doubled, by the way, and this properly descending, yes, into a root position, that is cadential. So that is when you start to say, okay, what is going on? And then it's resolution. Yeah. And why you should call your attention? First of all, because you could say, okay, fine, you have your dominant going to the tonic, but tonic in first inversion, but then go to the sixth, then go to the dominant, but the dominant doesn't go to the tonic again in C major, going elsewhere, and then when you have trying to suspect what's going on, yeah, and then we have to start reinterpreting the chords and saying, okay, what do we have here, yeah, especially because again this dominant is always introduced very mildly, always through an inversion. Yes, and there is a very big leap into the voices in this chord, which is if we reinterpret, okay, this progression towards the fifth, yes, of the C major, which is going to be the new tonic, we have a predominant cadential 6/4 dominant tonic, and then in the predominant, yes, so it's tonic predominant, yes, dominant tonic, we have a huge announcement, yes, everyone is leaping apparently, yes, and again the same journey of the note, but now more mildly in the tenor, D with leaps to the G is preparing, and then is even extended more, this G, through another chord, which is the 1/6/4, and then it resolves into the leading note of the new key, and then it resolves into the key. So again, this journey of these notes, yes, are important. Yes, to see the intention behind the chords, okay, the story of the notes. Yeah. Well, Laura, it's your turn to play. Good luck with the voicings. If you have to play the bass, yes, 1 octave higher, we forgive you.
Okay.
Just saying. Yeah, kind of hard for the piano, huh? Example F.
Oops, wait.
There you go. Yeah. Which one do you think is a stronger modulation, the example E or example F? And why? Of course.
Probably E.
Well, I will concord. It's answer in the form of a question. I mean, I concord, yes, but let's see your reasons.
I mean, F just sounded a bit weak when I played it. That's why I picked E. But also F, the bass just kind of, it's not very exciting. It just kind of goes down and then stays still and then goes back up.
Are you talking about which example when he says back up?
F.
Yeah, okay. Goes back here, yeah. Well, it's hiding in the tenor, yes?
Yeah.
Although, but yes, I mean, if you have to choose, the G is always, more perceived, will be perceived more importantly on the highest, on the upper register, in the upper part, yes, because it's soprano. But, let's think about the voices. I mean, imagine that this is being sung by a choir. The soprano has a G, G, F, G. It's quite comfortable. Yes, they could play even with, a very quiet, dynamic. Imagine you're a tenor and you're playing this high E, D, D, G, 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 F, G, yeah? Being an alto for me is super easy. If I ask Georgios to play in that register, let's say that, no, I won't, don't worry. But for a tenor, that is the limit. Yes, you're going to have very screaming tenors there. And they cannot avoid it. They will have to scream. Yeah, they will have to tense their vocal cords and hope for the best. Yes, because they are there in the limit of the range. Yeah, so careful with those things. At the beginning of the course for harmony, I can't remember if you were with us or not, Laura, but
I wasn't.
You were not. Yeah, no, you were not. But one of the first things we learned is the comfortable range, yes, and how that range will affect the notes, yes. And now in orchestration, you're going to see as well those things. I mean, in the woodwinds, remember you said, well, the last Thursday, say, well, careful with the pitch of how they pitch the notes, because if you put a, let's say, oboe, yes, the oboe, you have B flat, yes, and it will honk, yeah. So this works the same, yes. It's not just about an abstraction of notes, but this is a choir, and you're composing for a choir, or if you're looking at a, for example, take it as a pianist, yes, and then you're looking at the music score, music sheet, and then you see these notes, and you see, okay, this is a chord. Okay, fine. Yeah, but it depends on where and who's playing it, yeah. Well, you have to be very careful, yes, because in this case, although if I have to choose, I would go for the first example, yes, because always the upper part. Yes, Georgios is saying, yeah, I go for that. But it's not something to be, to me, not take into account that you will have very, very screaming tenors, yes, on that line. Okay, just saying. Understood, more or less?
Do you think?
Yeah.
I understand. The screaming tenors are good. They would, they would bring out the leading note tonic.
Exactly. No. That's my whole point. Exactly. When I say screaming tenors, it's a very funny way to say it. They're not going to be scream. They're going to be screaming. Yes, but prominent. They're going to. I mean, because of the range, they have to tense their vocal cords. I mean, every time that you sing higher, is like on a string, for example. Yes, the same thing. If you're playing very high notes, or the woodwinds, if you're playing very high notes, yes, it depends on the instrument, I know. The oboe, the clarinet can do it, for example, no? Other instruments cannot handle it, yeah. A string, for example, strings, yeah. You're playing very, 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 high. Let's say, I don't know. Well, I always have to relate it to the cello, no? But because I play it. But if I play a very, very high note on the cello, yeah, on the first string, I cannot play pianissimo because it won't sound. Yes, I have to play at least mezzo forte. Yeah. So no, it's not bad at all. Actually, no, it's a very, very subtle way to reinforce a line, which by looking at it, just by looking at it, you say, oh, this is not very important. Yeah, but actually, yeah. A good composer will say, in a very subtle way, yes, reinforcing a line, but not putting, oh, sing this louder. No, they will know. Yeah. In orchestration, this is a way to connect a little bit orchestration, yes, with harmony, which, I mean, they're entangled. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's not a bad thing. Yes, it's a very clever way to reinforce something that otherwise won't. Yeah, I mean, it's not the same. It's not the only way to put it in the soprano all the time. There are many more subtle ways. Yeah, either to compose or, in the case of Laura, if you're studying concerto for piano orchestra, please, Laura, yes, be the pianist who also pays attention to what is going on in the orchestra. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah. A favor for everyone. It's important. Yeah. Because it's one of the things. And this, before we carry on, we're going to carry on next time because we are kind of finishing. But one of the things that these lessons are, I think, is very important especially for pianists. Yes, I mean, I know that Georgios and Iris are very inclined to composition. Yeah, but one of the main faults for the soloists, yeah, are not paying attention to, well, basically not you when you're playing. Yeah, I know that if you're playing a concerto, I know this is a huge deal of time and effort, yes, and attention, yes, and everything, I know. But if you want to become well, you already are, but a much better musician, the relationship with other musicians is quite important. Yes, with relation with the conductor. Yeah, let's say that you're playing a piano concerto. Yes, and you're going to have an orchestra or an ensemble, and you have to be aware of those things and to be in touch with other musicians of what they're playing. And when you talk about, as a performer, yes, it will give you like a more high ground to be able to know these things and talk about these things with the conductor and defend your decisions, yeah, in a way. Because if the conductor, who knows the piece even more than you, I'm pretty sure, because that's their job, yeah. Sorry?
I just said yeah. I was just agreeing.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be in line of, you will have to know these things, yes? Because if not, it's not just about, okay, I play and I'm great a pianist. No, I'm a musician. I'm playing with other people. I have to be aware, yes. Yeah, it's very important, very, very important. Yeah, so that's why That's why we have counterpoint and orchestration, yes, and harmony, and music and analysis, yes, because it's all part of being a musician, yes. It's just not just the notes, yeah. It's not just the technique. Well, we're going to. This is going to be a long chapter. Yes, we're going to see all the cases. Be prepared to be near the piano. Yes, we're going to play each one of them. Schonberg takes a long time for this chapter, and usually modulation, he does say that in the book, is not being paid much of attention. Say, okay, modulation is going from one key to the other one. Okay, another chapter. Moving on. And he pays special attention to how you break, yes, this gravity, yes, with a tonic, and then how you get away, basically, yes, you release the bonds that you had with a tonic, and then you go to another one. And I do believe that he's right. Yes, it's not just okay, yeah, we get out from a key. No, what I mean, there's a process, yeah. And so, well, we're going to next time, yes, near the piano, we're going to play, very fun, yeah.